Alright, so the probable cause affidavit for Cortney and Brad Bartholomew has been released. I'm going to go over some of this right now with you guys. I'll post all of the documents on my FB page and my X if you guys want to read these. Also, trigger warning, some of this stuff is graphic. So it says that on November 4th, 2025 at 12:44 in the afternoon, Wexford County Central Dispatch received a call from Kimberly Park, Rebecca K. Park's sister, letting them know that Rebecca had not been seen since November 3rd at approximately 11:30 at night, and this was on the street of Cortney and Brad Bartholomew's residence. A deputy went and spoke with Cortney Marie Bartholomew, who is Rebecca's biological mother, who said that she last saw her daughter leaving her residence with an unidentified person around 8:30 p.m. on November 3rd. Cortney said that she ended up picking Rebecca up earlier that evening so that they can go and get some ice cream from Culver's. I guess later that evening, Rebecca needed Tide Pods to do laundry. Cortney said she had some at her house, so instead of bringing Rebecca back home, she brought her back to her residence so that she could give Rebecca some Tide Pods. Once they were back at Cortney and Brad's place, Rebecca said that she would just stay there because someone was going to pick her up. This right here is a lie. Cortney reported to Deputy Reed that she was contacted by Rebecca's fiance, Richard Fowler, regarding her location later that night. Cortney informed Rich she did not know where Rebecca was and that she had left with a friend. Now remember those text messages I shared at the beginning of this case. Cortney was the one that was incessantly texting Rich that night, letting him know that Rebecca had gotten into some random person's vehicle, and Richard wasn't responding back to her. And Cortney actually ends up contradicting herself at a later time because she says that she texted Kimberly, her other daughter, around 11 to get Rich's number so that she could text Rich and let him know that Rebecca had left with someone around 11:30. The next day, when Kimberly noticed that Rebecca was still missing, she ends up seeing where Rebecca's phone was last pinging. She tells her mom, Cortney, where the phone is pinging, and Cortney says that she goes to that location and that's where she finds the phone by the 2-track. She assumed at that moment that Rebecca had gotten out of the vehicle she was in to use the bathroom and dropped her phone. And you know what she does with that phone after? She drives it to Rich's house. She doesn't give it to law enforcement. She brings it to Rebecca's fiance. On Wednesday, November 5th, Kimberly actually goes to Wexford County Sheriff's Office and she's playing recordings from Cortney Bartholomew where Cortney is blaming other people for possibly having a hand in Rebecca's disappearance, and Wexford County Sheriff's Office looked into these different things and found them all to be untrue. On November 11th, 2025, Cortney Bartholomew's sister actually reached out to authorities and let them know that on October 28th, Cortney had texted her and let her know that she had given birth to a son and was asking her for baby items. A few days later, on November 3rd, 2025, Cortney sends her sister a message letting her know that her son had passed away. She didn't know how he died. She assumed maybe he wasn't getting air. How convenient that this fake made-up baby that Cortney claims that she had just given birth to at the end of October dies on the same day that Rebecca goes missing and the same day that her baby is believed to have been taken out of her womb. Cortney is then questioned again by officers, to which she starts divulging that she was planning on divorcing Bradley, her current husband, and that Rebecca and Rich, the father of her baby, actually had broken up and Cortney had commenced a relationship with Rich, her daughter's fiance. Cortney said that she became pregnant and she was unsure if the baby was Bradley or Rich's. Cortney tries to paint this narrative that Rich is abusive and that she was trying to get Rebecca away from Rich for Rebecca's safety, but I think that we all know that Cortney probably wanted to get back with Rich. Cortney told officers that on November 2nd, 2025, Rebecca had actually gone to the Cadillac Munson Hospital because she thought that she was going into labor, but it turns out that she actually wasn't. She was only 1 centimeter dilated. So when you look at the timelines of stuff, it seems like Cortney was planning to take Rebecca's life and to try and take her baby to make it seem like she had given birth to that baby herself. And this is further indicated on Tuesday, November 25th, when Rebecca K. Park's body was found. Rebecca's body had 6 sharp force wounds on her back, 2 to the right upper arm, 1 to the left trapezius area, 2 to the neck, and at least 2 to the face. She also had her abdomen cut open. The placenta was said to have been hanging from that wound with the umbilical cord attached. There was no baby though. Authorities ended up obtaining warrants for Cortney and Brad's phones, which pinged them him not only by where Rebecca's phone was found, but also by where her body was found prior to her body being found. Once Cortney and Brad were notified that this was a homicide investigation and that authorities were likely looking at both of them, they began turning on each other. Brad was trying to paint Cortney out to be this abusive, manipulative woman. She was trying to do the same about Brad. Cortney said that Brad actually attacked Rebecca with a knife to the throat and then took the baby out of her and then put the baby who was deceased in a trash bag and then in his blue work cooler. Brad is saying that Cortney was the one that did that, and he actually witnessed her doing it and watched her bury Rebecca's body in leaves where she was ultimately found. Brad said that Cortney was mad because Rebecca was always bad-mouthing her and wouldn't give her a chance to be a mom. So Bradley confirmed that Cortney wanted Rebecca's baby for herself. Brad said that after Cortney removed the baby, they ended up going back home. Cortney was holding the baby. Brad said that he didn't ever see the baby take a breath, didn't ever hear the baby whimper or cry or anything. Once they got back home, Cortney brought the baby into her room and attempted to do CPR on him. Brad also did, but were unsuccessful. Bradley said that it was Cortney who put the baby in a bag and then in the cooler, and they ended up disposing him in a GFL tote at a house north of their residence where there had been some logging done recently. Once Cortney is faced with all of this new information against her, she claims that Brad was the one that attacked Rebecca, and then she admits that she did actually cut the baby out of Rebecca, but she was doing it to help the baby. She wanted to get the baby alive so that she could bring the baby to Rich, the baby's father. So if you guys want to read all of this, go to my page. I will put this all on my FB as well as on my X. There's a lot of back and forth here, a lot of documents. It's 18 pages long, but definitely worth a read if you guys have been following this case. This is giving me a headache. What do you guys think about all of this? Let me know in the comments. These people are pure evil.